All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board Workshop Session. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. So I'll hand the meeting over to Brett Schroeder, and he can walk us through the applications that we'll be hearing and discussing beginning at 9 o'clock this morning at our public hearing. So Brett, all
Morning,
yours.
everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Schroeder.
This morning, we've got a couple little applications. We should be done fairly quickly, I hope. We're going to start off with Egg Harbor Cafe. They have done an awning on the side of their building out on the corner of Georgia Lane and North Point Parkway. A couple of years ago, I think, maybe when Egg Harbor came in to do a little bit of remodeling of the outside, we approved 5 years ago. Okay, well, it's been a while. We approved the patio on the side with planters and things like that. It just didn't have a cover on it. And apparently over the time, they added a cover. And so we're here to look at that, and they're asking for approval. So you can see it here on the side of the building. The way the building is oriented, this down here in the corner would be, this side faces Georgia Lane. This would be, North Point would be in the background back there. And I'm not sure what happened with this picture. It looks really askewed, but it makes it look like that. That is a really, it's something, I don't know. But anyway, that's that. So they'll be here to.
So is there anything else we need to look at or review?
I don't think so.
I drove by there yesterday. It looks a little cluttery in the back there. They've got ladders and some stuff they're storing outside, so maybe we just have them clean that up a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next one is 401 South Main. If you're not familiar, this is an doctor's complex. Where we built the new pharmacy. Then there's the new Villa Magnolia townhomes. Then this is next. It's been there 30 years. Sits a little bit off the road. I think the next door neighbor might be the storage facility. I'm not positive of that. But DOT came through, took down their sign, as they did in a lot of places. And over the years, they had been losing some landscaping to death and disease or whatever, and different things. So they're here to brighten up the front of their subdivision office complex with signage and a little bit of landscaping. So here's the monument sign. Applied letters, pretty basic. Some basic pictures of where it's gonna sit in the landscape, and you can see this is one of the Villa Magnolia townhomes right here in the background.
Do you know if the brick match the building?
I do not know if the brick matches the building.
I mean,
It should, but I don't know, being that old, I don't know if it could match exactly.
At least close, yeah.
Get it close.
The buildings are kind of far back.
The buildings are far back, so it'd be a good, probably 50, 75 feet from the sign, so they're not like they're sitting really close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it either needs to go close or go
Totally.
completely away from it.
Seems like it. Brett, is this in any type of overlay or anything?
Nope. Well, it is in the downtown.
It is downtown.
Yeah. So here's the landscape plan. The only thing that I really have to say about the landscape plan is I think they should have just gotten rid of all the sod and just done it all in either plant material or plant material and mulch. But anyway,
Why don't you like the sod?
it's the only place they have to mow. It's the only place there is on the site to mow. So if you didn't have to mow and you could just spend that money in maintaining your other stuff, maybe it gets a better thing instead of, maybe you actually get instead of a mow and blow guy that maintains your landscaping, you actually get a landscaper that maintains your stuff, but maybe not. So, yeah, there's always hope.
Yeah.
I'm
there-
looking at the site as it is now, and I'm not quite sure maintenance is top priority on the
It's not, and it never has been.
There is looks to be a little sod or some sort of,
Yeah, there's a
Grass or
good amount of grass there now. So maybe they're just gonna, cut bed lines and leave there what's there, but that's just my thought. I don't,
my thought on most part.
yeah. I mean, I put, as some of you know, I put artificial turf in my backyard, so I don't have to mow it or maintain it. So that's that. I think it's a huge improvement from what's currently there. So you guys can look at plant materials and different things like that, but it's definitely a big improvement. Then we're going to go on to Henderson Commons. Henderson Commons has a new owner. So if you think back to the old owner, if some of you remember, this is the building that got painted without approval. Then we tried to make it look better, remove some paint, add some different color paint. We tried to just make it look right. This is a new owner. The paint stuff got fixed in the midst of ownership change. So this is a new owner. They want to do monument signs. It's been a problem for 15 years probably. They've always were talking about the monument sign at this location. It's sat too far back. It sits down a hill. Now that DOT came in and changed it, it even sits farther down the hill. It's not as far back from the right of way, but it is farther down the grade. So they're proposing 2 monument signs, one at each entrance. They're proposing a V-shaped monument, which it meets the code. And I initially had thought when I met with them that it would be probably the way to go just because of the sight lines. But I was out there the other day and I was really looking hard at it. And I don't know. I think traditional perpendicular, just back-to-back signs would be fine. They're going to be a lot more visible than what the current one is.
Well, did you see the swimming pool has a temporary V? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they're going to do them as a V shape. Yes,
Like what the swimming pool has?
similar to what the swimming pool has, but typically you only see that in a temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so permanent signs, I don't know, I think where it meets the code, it just to me looks a little odd. I don't know that you can make a base look right with it and different things. So anyway, I'll leave that up to you guys. They did have an open back on the V, if you can think about that before, and I told them, no, we're definitely gonna have to close that in, so they did put a panel on the back side to close that off. I think that made it better, but you guys can look at it.
Brett, before you leave the site plan right there, can you tell us where is the right of way or how close or how far away?
So the right-of-way is, I don't know when this site plan was done. So, but the right-of-way is the back of the sidewalk,
Because the back of the sidewalk.
back of the new sidewalk.
Because then there's a wall right there at the back of the sidewalk, right?
Yes, so it's
Okay.
right, that's
So-
it, right there.
But their existing sign, which shows their shared sign there, kind of 2/3 of the way
Right.
between the X's.
Yeah, their existing sign
It's
used to set 20 feet behind the right-of-way.
okay. I mean, it's still there,
It's still there.
and it's actually deeper in that parking island than it shows.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
it's-
is.
It's almost in the parking lot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel for them because it's so far back that you can't
That's their sign.
see,
Yeah.
because you're
And now that,
driving like this.
now that I don't know what the technical term of the road angle is now, but as you're coming around there, you're kind of
Yeah, and you're
angled up.
turning.
And you're turning, and so it makes that center go away even more.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they'll move forward at some point with a couple of tenants out front,
Apparently at the end.
which will help get them some visibility into the center and things like that. But for right now, I think their best bet is these two monument signs.
So if it's buried as far below road grade as it is, and then, there's, the code requires it to be whatever height it is, right? It can't be any higher than something else. Is there a variance to that
It's
code to bring it up higher?
It's from road grade,
From road grade?
from road grade.
Okay, good, all right.
Yeah, so
So it might just
So
have a
they've done
big
that?
base.
they've not done that with the existing monument. They just wasn't,
But with these two,
these two, they have brought.
they are
that up
bringing
some,
them
yeah.
up? Okay, good.
Yep. They could probably go a little bit taller, but I think I think their sign guy felt like what they proposed them at and where, I think would probably work. But yeah, they did, they're, I don't remember what the other one is, but I want to say they're about 3 foot taller than what the existing one is.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to get a feel for that and looking at the drawings, I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, no, you can't really, but it's road grade, and it's supposed to be mid-road grade, so it wouldn't be the one right there at the edge, it'd be basically
Center
middle of the road, but yeah, they're thinking of that and bringing them up.
Okay. Thanks.
So this is what the sign looks like. Not super exciting, but I think the base needs to be, I think this needs to be bigger. Needs to be bigger than the top. Looks too,
Like wider, you mean?
yeah, it needs to be wider.
Seems like a lot of gooseneck lights and 4 feet of width.
It does seem like a lot.
Not quite sure those gooseneck lights are to scale.
I don't know if it's going to be is it going to be able to cast all the way down to that bottom tenant?
I don't know.
The other thing I was going to mention is if they could do some kind of cap on top of the stacked stone,
Yeah,
it would give it a stronger feel of a base, and because it's such a tall sign and it's just straight up.
Yep.
So it might break it up a little bit.
yeah, I think the base definitely needs to be a little bit larger than the top and have some sort of a break. Yeah,
Maybe in a top to the sign too.
and then here's where you get the feel of the triangular shape, the V shape. And then the backside getting filled in there.
It does appear they're putting some landscaping at the base of the sign.
They're gonna have to do a little bit, it just depends where, they'll have to carve out a little bit of sod probably and put some stuff in there. There's existing landscaping out there, so I assume they would probably just, there's,
Not much, where they're putting these signs.
no, because of the trees, but there's at the parking lot, there should be, I wanna say there's shrubs along the parking lot.
We might not want to
Some
put those
boxwoods.
trees in front of their sign.
Those are actually behind the sign. They're behind it, not in front of it right now, yeah.
They've got some boxwoods way
It
down
does
near
say
the.
back, doesn't it? I need to read better.
Okay, all right.
So then we're going to go to Thompson Street that we saw a couple months ago. Had some comments about different things with them. I think they've made some decent changes.
I think one of our issues was just making sure we understand where the materials were. and
Right.
Descriptions and then having some of the
And
materials.
then these are these are the townhomes.
Yeah, the challenge on these is that the materials aren't annotated on these elevations.
Yep.
I mean, I like the palette of materials they have.
Yeah, I like the materials, it just, yeah, it would have been
What's
nice
go,
if they
what's
would
going where, yeah.
have done that as asked, but they,
Brett, do you remember if all of us were here?
Remember, I'm sorry if Pat was here for this, because I don't.
Mr. Corporal, do you remember if you were here?
You
And
cannot
after
start
that-
census with that.
I'll check.
By the way,
Hang,
it doesn't look familiar, so I'm.
hang on a minute, I'll check.
It was
Let's see, that
December,
was
yeah.
December.
Right?
I think it was December, yeah.
I was here in December.
Wait a minute, let's see. Well,
That's when I get lotto tickets.
That didn't
I
win.
never miss that. Okay, well, we can find out here in a little bit.
Yeah, we can find out
I don't wanna hold
in the
this up.
mean.
No, I had that you were here.
Okay.
Holly, actually, I have, Holly wasn't here.
No, I was here.
It says you left before the vote. You were here, I think you were here for the whole thing, and then you had to leave just.
She had to leave before, yeah, so you can, yeah, since you reviewed it, you can, right, Ellie? Even though she didn't vote, she reviewed it.
yeah, she started
She
the meeting,
started the package.
but then she had to,
That makes sense.
okay.
Yeah, so I think the changes that we talked about, I think they did, and so now you guys will just can look at those. I think the intent probably is that we look at the two that sit right at the corner of Thompson Street and the new street that they're putting in. And then maybe we look at scale sort of the other buildings and then back to the townhomes and see there and then approve material lists and things like that. So
You have to condition, a couple conditions.
Yeah, I went through those.
and then, yeah, we've got,
Council condition.
forgot my mouse this morning.
I think it was,
Architecture similar to the depicted, which we've already pretty well determined that they're similar enough. Detached homes have a mix of flat and gables, and the townhomes have flats.
you're looking at condition number 2.
Number 2, and then number 3, general existing grades and include decorative walls. And then, yeah, number 28. 28?
I think if you keep going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, one got added. Yeah, 50% of the homes are either unpainted brick or stone on all 4 sides.
So what you're saying on this, the ones on Thompson Street, lots 1 and 7, we could review in their entirety, right? The elevations and the specific material selections.
And I think that would give you a good,
Base, foundation.
yeah, for
Start.
the other homes,
they need
you know,
to come
that they
back?
could go from. And it's completely up to you. You could leave it to staff, or you can theoretically review at least the fronts and the scale of each building, and then the townhomes.
Yeah, so we could review the elevations. So we could review and approve the elevations, assuming that we like them, right? And then approve the material palette, and then leave it to staff to approve the specific materials,
The
right?
specific other,
Application
what if there
materials,
is
right.
8 or 9 or
What-
7 or whatever.
What materials go where on all
Yeah.
those other ones?
Yep.
Okay.
You could.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
And I think the big part of that would be knowing that we have to follow number 28 with at least 50% of the homes in there, not including the townhomes, have to be four-sided brick or stone, unpainted. And that's it.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board public hearing. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. Good morning, welcome. It's supposed to get warmer, so that's a good thing, right? Okay. Roll call. Looks like everybody is here this morning, so all present and accounted for. Just a gentle reminder, if you'll silence your electronic devices, please. And then we'll stand, face the flag, and have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for that. All right, do we have any items from staff this morning? Any items from staff members?
I'm just going to read the public hearing procedures, your favorite thing. An individual requesting to be heard on a matter related to the purpose of the hearing must be recognized by the chair before addressing the board. Upon rising to speak, the speaker must identify himself, herself, and furnish a home or business address before proceeding with any comments or remarks. The board will allow the proponents a total of 10 minutes to speak in support of an application. Opponents are also allowed 10 minutes to speak in opposition. Comments are accepted first from the applicant, followed by those speaking in favor, and then from those in opposition. And the chair can extend the time if he chooses to. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ellie. Okay, anything else from, any other items from board members this morning?
Staff,
Or staff, I'm sorry, staff, anything from staff?
just enjoy the short meeting today. March is
Hint.
not going to be so short.
Okay, very good. All right, any items from board members this morning? Any birthdays, anniversaries, or anything? No? Okay, very good. All right, our next order of business is to approve the Design Review Board meeting minutes from our January 18th, 20, and on our agenda, it should say 2025, not 2024. If I have it as the 17th. Let's verify that, because it's okay, the minutes say 17, the agenda has 18, so let's, it should be 18, right? Because let's check that. Let's check our calendars and make sure it was January 18th here. Pull that up. 17th. All right, should have been 17th. All right, so it is correct on the unofficial meeting minutes that we're looking at. Has everybody had a chance to look at the meeting minutes from January 17th, 2025? Okay. All right. And we did, okay, very good. Any comments, questions? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I make a motion to approve the January meeting minutes.
Okay. Have a motion by Mr. Rowan, a second by Mr. Corkle. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none. All in favor, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the January 17th, 2025 City of Alpharetta Design Review Board meeting minutes, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition. All right, minutes are approved 7-0. Thank you for that. Okay, on to our applications this morning. And our first applicant is Egg Harbor. Come on down, please, or come on up. If you'll make sure you speak into the microphone. And
I am.
okay, if you'll speak into the microphone, introduce yourself, please, name and address.
Yes.
And then give us an overview of what we have in our application this morning, please.
Yes, John Hetrick, 1458 Conestoga Avenue Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30319. I am representing Masterworks General Contracting, and we are a builder working with Egg Harbor, multiple sites in the Atlanta area. We did not build, yep.
There we go. Whoa, there we go.
There it is. So that was the one Brett showed that was distorted. So that is the,
Okay.
yeah,
Much
so, and you had the area view. So this was built in 2021, not by us. And I have material samples. I was asked to bring those if, I don't know if they get passed around.
Why don't you,
Black metal.
Okay.
and Is the supporting structure, and obviously the gray is the canopy. But it's, again, been constructed and used since 2021, and so we're just here trying to work with Egg Harbor. The original contractor has not been supportive to come and stand before you, so that's why I am here, just trying to take care of our client. And I heard ahead of time the comments about is there some unnecessary stuff being stored under there? Or I'll have to check, make sure it's Egg Harbor's or if it's the landlord's or whose it is.
okay, it just seemed like there's some scattered tables and a ladder and some other chairs
Okay.
that were even into the parking lot area there.
I will bring that to their attention.
Okay, all right. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the canopy, the metal canopy is already there.
Yes,
And-
right, 2021 it was approved.
Okay, very good.
It's actually, is it fabric? There's a piece of fabric you're passing around, so the top is
Yeah,
fabric?
that's draped over. So if there was ever uplift, it would actually
Okay.
disconnect.
So a metal
So-
frame with a fabric cover.
Correct.
Yeah, it's hidden pretty well back there.
And I think there's
You kind
one
of got to go
more.
back there to see it. You can't really see it.
Right, you have to be on that side of the building. I got you.
Okay. I mean, it appears to kind of complement the existing colors that are there. It's not in your face. Out of the way. So you said it was a different contractor that built that, or who built that? A different contractor? Okay.
Yeah, it was not us. It was
Okay.
not constructed by
All
us.
right, just let the Egg Harbor folks know, next time they do something a little bit more than they're approved to do, just to talk to the city and
That,
coordinate
that's why
that
we're there.
before.
That's why we're there, and
Before is be-
that's why I'm here.
Before is better than after, how about that?
100% always.
Very good, all right. Okay, before we have any approvals or anything, is there any public comment about this application? Any public comment this morning? Okay, no public comment. Okay, somebody want to craft a motion, please? Sure. Go ahead.
You guys might have to speak so everyone can hear what you're saying.
That was a.
I was just referring to when we met on this last and
Well, we didn't
some of the
we didn't meet on this. We haven't seen this.
So this, okay.
This is the first time. That was a different.
That was a different one, okay. That's what I
Different
thought.
restaurant,
All right.
different location.
Similar type of idea.
Very
there.
similar type of idea.
Yeah, so on the other project that we talked about, because of its visibility and all, we were talking about putting matching masonry bases on the columns and kind of continuing the character of the building over. But being that this one's been here for 4 years, it's a little bit different situation. So.
Well, and it is a little bit more off the beaten path. The other application we looked at was
That's
on
right.
Old Milton Parkway, pretty prominent.
That's right, yeah.
So I think we're kind of in a different situation, different location. Yes.
All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 250006 Egg Harbor, I motion to approve the patio cover as presented with the condition that the applicant and/or the landlord clean up the stored debris behind the building. And the motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. Corkle. Any comments or questions about the motion? There will be none. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 7-0. John, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay,
All right, I appreciate you.
very good. Our next applicant this morning is 401 Professional Building, which is on 401 South Main Street. Come on up or come on down, please.
Price is right. Good morning. I'm Dr. Krishna Danaparthy, representing as the president of the HOA for 401 South Main Street. Hopefully, this approval will be just as easy as the previous one. All I can say is that with the DOT doing construction in that area, we've been without a sign since February 6, 2020. It has created a lot of heartache, especially for new patients who are trying to find the entrance. Speak a little closer.
Are you going to
No.
present on here? Okay.
With the sign being removed, we had a temporary, very sketchy little thing to indicate it was 401 South Main, which the DOT would always knock over, and no one can find it afterwards, or the wind would blow it over. There was some comment about the brick color. It does match current buildings. I think in the future, the HOA may consider painting it to that off-white that we see around the town. Other than that, as the new president of the HOA, we're going to be making significant changes to the landscape that reflect a more appealing curb view. We believe that the buildings with this sign and the new landscape will enhance both the city but also improve our overall valuation of the properties. And that's really all I had to say about that.
Okay, what we're looking at on our monitors right now is the monument sign. And you said the brick base was going to match the building. Do you have a color sample by chance of the main background of the sign, the off-white, with you, Doctor, today?
I believe that that picture, although it looks more yellowish, it's actually white.
Okay,
I don't know why it rendered that way.
The description mentions cabinet painted with beige color.
Oh,
So is
then
that supposed to be white? Or is it
I
beige?
recall it being white, but beige might be the right way. I think, yes, actually, you're correct. We thought that the black and beige has the highest contrast ratio.
Okay. All right. Any questions about the monument sign? None. Let's go to the landscape plan. Why don't we go to the colored version of the landscape plan? How about that? Joel, if you can, there we go.
So I have a quick question on the site, real quick. And there's photos of proposed view and existing view. Is that a power pole? What is that in the photo?
It's a power, I was gonna ask that too, is that it's a power pole? But
So, and
it-
where is that in any of the landscape renderings?
That is a utility pole. That's the new utility pole,
That's what I was gonna ask.
and that's permanent.
So in the landscape drawings, where's that at? Or in the,
That is on the 401 South Main side, right next to the sidewalk.
no, where is it depicted on the drawing?
On your landscape plan drawing.
Yeah, right about there, yes, where you have the cursor.
Well, that's,
Oh, okay, so, all right, so when I zoom in on, I see an LT pole, okay. So I'm assuming, well, is that light pole?
Yes, light pole or electrical pole.
Okay,
It looks like there's also a power pole in the center of the landscape area. If you look up by the Vitex tree, I think it does say power pole.
Yes,
Little up.
Keep going
existing,
straight
see
north,
some
Yeah.
existing
straight up.
power pole.
Straight up, right there.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a light pole, so that's part of the street lighting. And there's a power pole, then there's existing power pole out near that catch basin at the curb. So my biggest quandary over this is if there is overhead power, are these trees fitting underneath the power lines?
Yes, sir.
So where are the power lines? Because generally, Georgia Power will come through, and if there's a tree underneath them, they'll usually tend to top them.
Correct. And so with the landscaping, we actually eliminated a tree with city approval current photos show that's all been cleared out. And it was a tree that was not more than 20 feet anyway, but to make for the new landscape and aesthetically appealing, we got rid of the old tree. Sorry, we do not have a picture of what the old landscaping looked like.
So that willow oak is not underneath power lines?
No. You can see it, that bush-like looking kind of tree in the previous view, that was eliminated. Yep.
That's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of light there.
It sounds-
All right, so there's all the utilities.
Yeah, that tree is on the left side is still present.
Okay.
I think those two light poles are aren't those in the right of way? I mean, that's not, is that,
That smaller one has been eliminated.
Okay. So now that I see this photo, so that utility pole or the Georgia Power pole is a drop, so that the power ends there and it goes underground. And then the continuation of the lines that run parallel to the street are just phone lines. So I think you're cool with the placement of that oak.
I have a question about the sign. Is this a one-face, single-face sign? Two-face, thank you. Because this plan shows it with one.
You'll be able to see the sign from what's on the sign from both north and south direction.
Certainly, yeah, that's critical. Something that, an impression I get from this planting plan is that it's a lot like a soft garden kind of look. Instead of something bold and dignified that I would expect to see for your professional site. Because there are a lot of plants that have been put in here as if the person designing it wanted to put all their favorite plants in. It's up to you guys how you present that, but my suggestion would be to evaluate that based on my comments.
Yes, thank you. It's been a long time. We can't proceed with the landscape until we actually put the sign first, run electricity, and do the irrigation. So it'll come in phases.
I agree with you, Richard. There's a lot out there in a streetscape sense. I get that as well. I agree.
Although I would have to say it's much better than what's there now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
At the
an
end of the day, it's
improvement.
maintenance and survivability. Is there irrigation out there?
Supposedly. But this building and this area has been so old. What I was told, this building is 30 or 40 years old, and the area.
So is the plan to add irrigation?
If we're going to have landscape, we got to have irrigation and grass. So yes.
Are you planning on providing any uplighting for the signage from the ground? I don't know if I saw any of that on the plans.
Uplighting,
Uplighting to shine on the sign?
it's backlit
It's backlit. Internally or?
internally, yes.
What are we talking about?
The monument sign.
The monument sign's not internal.
Yeah, it looks like it's not.
I think it has the option to do it. I don't know if that was approved or not. but-
Yeah, I got the impression it was non-illuminated, and that's why I was asking if there was.
It does say double-sided, non-illuminated
Yeah.
fabricated
Okay.
cabinet on the.
Yeah. The manufacturer allows for it, but if the board
So the plan is
approves
to
it
not
as
have any,
non-lit, then
any lighting.
Yeah, it's labeled as non-illuminated cabinet.
That's why I was,
Yeah.
The sign company told me was that they would put some exterior, ground lighting.
that's what I was wondering
ground
about.
lights to it, which it's gotta be that or nothing really. 'Cause
Yeah.
it doesn't allow for internal.
Exactly.
Let me go back for just a moment to the monument sign. My question was because I do see on the sign drawing that it is double-sided. But the planting plan, the landscape plan, shows it at an angle, and it doesn't address being able, the planting that's proposed doesn't allow it to be seen from north going south. So that area would need to be reconfigured so that the sign is more prominent in that curve that where the sign is shown to sit. And it's, I say that because I'm looking at I see now, thank you, Brett. I see now where that is on the black and white drawing. It's different on the colored drawing.
Okay, so where is the monument sign going? But that's not what shows on the colored rendering.
And I don't know what the Daydream loropetalum is. I would hope that it's a low-growing variety.
yes, it will be low-growing because otherwise it would cover up the sign.
So the engineered drawing, which shows the red dimensioning of it, shows the sign as perpendicular to the road.
Yeah, it's,
So that's the place where it's double-sided perpendicular.
yeah, this one's,
Right. Well,
the
No.
color has got it in wrong.
no, yeah, but if you go back another drawing, it's the dimensions that are shown in red, not this drawing. That one, so that shows it as
Yeah, it shows the
perpendicular.
perpendicular right here. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant, whether it's the sign or the landscaping?
I think the landscape's too busy. I don't know, survivability at the end of the day, if all that stuff is really gonna take hold and be maintained and all that. It appears to be more of a residential, kind of a garden-esque landscape, like, I didn't use all the fancy words Richard had.
I don't know. I feel like the pellet is pretty hardy. You know, it is a little more on the ornamental side. You know, it's going to have a lot of flowering qualities. I actually like it, and I feel like the palette, when you look at the list, the breakdown of the list, those are all fairly hardy plantings. And if they have irrigation,
You did say it was gonna be irrigated, sir?
After the sign is put, and then we will do any electrical and irrigation
And what is that timeline like?
as soon as the board approves it.
Okay, so you said phased, so I didn't know if you were gonna wait
We gotta,
6 months or a year.
oh, no, no.
Okay.
We will shoot for by the end of the summer.
So it's all gonna be done at once?
All will be done, yes.
Okay.
And before anybody makes any motions or anything, I just want to ask, is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? Public comment, all right.
Let me also qualify something regarding the points we've made about the planting and the selection. The black and white planting was done a year after the colored plan. So it does approach more of what we're talking about in being a simple, dignified presentation.
All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 250004, 401, professional building, motion to approve the sign as submitted with the condition that the applicant submit a color sample of the background color on the sign to staff for final approval. And a motion?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer. Any comments or questions about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, so now we've got the landscaping to do, please.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, regarding DRB 250004, that we approve the black and white drawing of the proposed planting that is dated August 12, 2024. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Owens, a second by Ms. Sprayberry. Any questions or comments about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Write this down here. Our next applicant this morning is HC Commons LLC. Come on down or come on up, please. Good morning. Oh, good. All right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll start. Pass those around. All right.
My name is Deborah Hayes. I'm a senior property manager with Brand Properties. I'm representing 735 North Main Street, Henderson Commons.
Okay, Deborah. Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
You might have to speak into the microphone a little more when you're speaking.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. Wrong side? Perfect. That would be the problem. Thank you.
Okay. Wish I was there. Probably the paint color that they kind of used in the last application. All right, Eric, come on. That's loose. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yes, it does. Much better than.
Okay, this shows,
Okay.
if you can see it.
Ma'am, you'll have to move a little.
I'm so sorry.
Or just speak louder.
Okay.
Either one.
The red area shows where I have a monument at this time.
Okay.
The blue are the two proposed monuments at each entrance.
All right.
And let me,
Just, I'm back on that one just real quick.
I'm so sorry.
Could you just back up to the prior slide for a second? One more. There you go. Just the way those triangles are shown, though, are backwards, right? Obviously,
Yes.
you're right.
Yes,
Okay.
they are backwards.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the V shape?
Yeah, the way the V shape
They're
is.
triangular shape.
Like, they wouldn't be very visible that way.
Well-
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
think it was just,
Just checking.
because the red is where the existing monument sign is and the blue is where the proposed are. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a view from the street of the existing monument. Based on the new sidewalk, the elevation, it's very difficult to see. We are also actually 98% occupied at this time. We need more visibility for our tenants. Our property sits back from the street a little, so we're just trying to help them enhance their business.
Okay.
Does that existing sign come out then?
I'm so sorry.
The existing sign gets removed?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, are the top two panels, are those the temporary banners that are up right now?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So are there only the,
There's
is there
only four. Yes.
What's, that's the code, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
This shows a little bit of the new sign locations. This is one of the entrances. There are some mature trees in that area. We've met with the sign company, we met with Brett on site to find the perfect location with the right size for the new signage. This is one entrance.
So that's the, I would call that the northern entrance to your,
Yes.
to your property? Okay,
This is the southern entrance.
okay.
And it would sit down where you see the tree. On the rendering that you saw, it's had two trees. We're not adding two extra trees. We are adding planting at the bottom, but that was just my sign company getting creative.
So in one of these pictures then, can you kind of maybe use your pointer to show us where in that,
Would be
Area.
down here.
so right in that, okay.
Mhm.
So Brett, the right-of-way is right at the back of that sidewalk or that wall right there, is that correct? So they can, that's as kind of far, as close to the North Main Street they can get? Okay,
And this is the proposed signage design. Omit the trees. We wanted it triangular so that it's visible from either direction. 4 panels on the 2 sides. The back will just say Henderson Commons. I walked in as you were making comments that you would like to see the base possibly a little larger with a cap on it. That is certainly doable. We do have the goosenecks that match the building. The sign will be the color of the actual building. The brick will be the same brick that is on the building itself. If we needed some downlights at the bottom in the landscaping, that's not a problem to add. We already have electricity here.
Is there and this is just a thought, is it possible to uplight the sign solely from the ground level versus the goosenecks?
Versus the goosenecks?
I mean, we discussed it a little bit during the workshop about the goosenecks are, they seem pretty large and prominent, maybe detract a little bit from the sign. I don't know if anybody else has any
I agree.
thoughts on that.
We can get smaller goosenecks.
There's just a lot of them.
or maybe just,
Or-
just go down to 1 or something.
Yeah, or maybe
I have no
reduce it to
problem.
one.
I mean, it's not a problem, just lighting it from the bottom. We're trying to make it to where it matched the building.
Does anybody have any feelings about eliminating them and just ground lighting it?
Without being a lighting expert, I don't know if you're gonna get enough light, uplight onto it, or if downlight's enough, I honestly don't know, but I don't mind the gooseneck.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, I agree, 3 seems like a bit much.
Eric, I agree. If the right fixture can easily be selected that will focus on that vertical
Okay.
space, you can get your lamp to do something like that, and it would make the sign more simple without those goosenecks detracting from the form of it.
And this is just a personal observation and somewhat subjective, so it's not a requirement, but it just seems a little much to me.
Okay, I appreciate all feedback. That's why I'm here.
I think a good lighting, sign company could probably do an LED channel at the top and bottom
Yes, we did that at Shops of Dunwoody, yes.
and flush it both directions.
Like a strip?
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it would focus more on your signs and your tenants than
Okay,
detract, you know.
perfect.
I guess without the goosenecks, the panels could be a little bigger too, right? It would-
Yeah, either the panels could be bigger or you're using possibly 18 inches of sign just to deal with those goosenecks.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were commenting that it seems,
Henderson Commons up there. I think that'd be a good spot.
that's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the center.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there now.
It's
just
on there,
very-
but it's so
very
small.
Tiny, yeah. Yeah.
You could push the building number up and get this.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can hardly read it. Yeah.
I think I'm more concerned about the location of the sign. I know you're trying to get good visibility, but by the time you put some landscaping at the base of it and everything, I think it's kind of being pushed. I'm just concerned about visibility, but that's my,
It's a tight space with the tree, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a
Yes.
tight space. Any landscape at the bottom would not be anything large because, again,
well,
the
I'm looking at
elevation is so low, you wouldn't really see much of it.
I'm looking at the picture you show, the backside of the sign,
Mm-hmm.
you've got some landscaping there, so you,
Well, those trees will not be there.
She said that her sign
Okay.
contractor had some
Okay.
visions of things that
okay,
are not
all
gonna
right.
happen. I think lighting of Henderson Commons on the backside is a bit redundant, that
Okay.
people are leaving to say where they've been.
Well, we just didn't want it to be just plain because we actually had it open at one time, and Brett suggested we have it closed,
Okay.
just for a better look.
So in theory too, you could have, I don't know how many tenants the center has or how many possible tenants.
13.
13? So you've got 8 tenant signs on this one. You could have 8 on the other one or whatever it is.
Yes.
Wow, so everybody could have their own tenant sign
Yes.
on this monument sign,
That is what we're
trying to
aiming
achieve.
for.
I did want to clarify, you said that the paint was the same color as the building. I'm just clarifying that it's the lighter color, because
Yes,
there are
it is.
two colors on the
Yes,
building.
it is the
Okay,
lighter color. Yes.
thank you.
One other comment, you mentioned that you would be open to creating some kind of cap to the stone base. The sample board that you sent around had a really nice stone cap on the photograph. Something like that, I think, would
Oh,
look
yes.
great.
That's exactly what's on the building, so we could do that here.
Excellent.
I noticed along the street, there's a railing along the sidewalk.
Yes, there is.
What is the height of that railing as compared to the stone base? Or is the sign going to be above the railing?
Yes.
The railing's not so high, it's going to block the bottom sign on,
No, that's why the base is so tall,
okay,
is to try and compensate for that.
okay. So this will get it up above that railing height.
It'd be like 42 inches, that railing's 42 inches, so,
The railing is
Yeah.
42.
and it's on top of the wall,
Right, the new
so
sidewalk.
it's, yeah, kind of looking at that. So the picture, that's a picture of that one. They have to zoom in. It'd be pretty close, it'd be almost even the bottom. The top of the stone would be right at the bottom of the, top of the railing there,
Okay.
time they put it all in, so.
And again, to your point, if we remove the goosenecks, and we lift all the tenant panels up, we'll have even more visibility.
Okay, before any other action happens, is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? Okay, no public comment.
Brett, are you comfortable reviewing any landscaping that goes in? Do they need to submit it or no?
No.
So you have been out there, the northern entrance to your center there, it's a pretty steep drop once you get right behind the sidewalk and the wall right there. I mean, it drops off
Yes.
3 or 4 feet quickly.
We're told that once they finish the street, that they will level that out. Contractors.
Really?
That's what we were told when we met out there.
Because I was there this morning and it's,
Yes,
it's a big drop.
It
You
is.
turn in and then go down the, okay.
doesn't meet ADA.
Okay.
And are we good with the V shape or the
I think as long as
traditional
there's,
look?
you know,
I'm
it's-
okay with it.
I'm okay, as long as there's something on the backside, and it's just not a big plain kind of column of white or whatever color it is. I think maybe they have an emblem, or maybe they have a center logo or
Oh,
something that
yeah.
could be put on. I don't
Okay.
know, do you, that,
We do not,
or,
but we can come up with something.
just as long as it's got something on it that just
Gotcha.
gives it a little character.
Okay.
That's my, about that.
I mean, I definitely think there's needed, because, you know, I would have to drive in the center and just drive around to see what's actually in there, because you go by so fast, and that sign you can't see, and the
Right.
sign's so,
They have a coffee
And-
shop and they have.
yeah. I mean, I
building
used to
is
go to
an
the
L
title
shape.
boxing in there, and,
Right, House of Hazen.
yeah.
Can't see her sign.
There's the
Yes.
dance, Modus, is it Modus?
Modus Dance.
In there, so there's,
And if that out partial gets built, you know, the people, the
Exactly.
tenants behind it, you definitely won't see.
And that's why
unless-
Just Love Coffee has a sign on the side of the building because of the visibility.
Has that opened, by the way?
I'm
The
so
co-
sorry?
The coffee place, has it opened?
No, it is. It should open in March.
There should be 3 zeros there, right?
A little side, thank you.
oh, yeah, didn't notice that, yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 250007, HC Commons, motion to approve the sign as presented with the following conditions. Applicant will enlarge the base with a stone cap with final dimensions to be approved by staff. Instead of the gooseneck lighting, applicant will install up and down LED strip lighting and low evergreen landscaping will be installed at the base with final approval by staff. And the motion?
Okay, a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. Corkle. Are there any comments or questions about the motion?
Did we need to, with the removal of the goosenecks, to make the Henderson Commons larger? Does that need to, we discussed that? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you so
Deborah,
very
thank you for
much.
your time this morning. Appreciate it. Thanks for being prepared. Okay. All right, our next applicant is 296 and 304 Thompson Street. Let's take a 5-minute recess here while they come up and get set up for us. But if you can come on up and get ready, we'll be ready to go in about 5 minutes. Thanks. Okay, let's end our recess and get started going with the next applicant this morning. And again, that's 296 and 304 Thompson Street. Kingsley is the name of the development. Good morning, welcome.
Good
Welcome
morning.
back.
How are you?
Good. Make sure you speak into the microphone. If you'll introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Brian Bodeshan. My address is, I just moved, so bear with me for a second. 150 Sugar Mill Place, Clarkston, Georgia. Moved up to the mountains and it's cold up there. But anyway, this is Thompson. I think we've got it this time, I hope. So we took all your stuff under advisement, made our changes, and here we are back again today.
Okay, why don't you again walk us through, I think we've got the two homes at front Thompson Street, the 296 and the 304. So why don't you walk us through each one of those
Okay?
homes, please?
So we have Lot 1 and we have Lot 7. Okay, we're looking at Lot 1s on your screen.
Okay,
Um,
and that's the 296 Thompson Street.
Can we back up for just a second, Brian?
Sure.
Can we back up? Is there a site plan so I can
Yes.
refresh my memory on where all these sit?
Okay,
Good, Pat. Okay, good call.
Primarily for me.
That'll help all of us. Refresher.
so each one of these lots, 1 and 7, they have a entranceway that's going to come, or a walkway that's going to come to Thompson.
Why don't you just hold on just a
Okay.
bit? Let's get to the site plan and then we can let the IT master navigate to. Okay, there we go.
Is that large enough? Yep. There you go.
Okay.
Okay,
So single family are 1 through, how many are there?
So there's 11 single
11,
families and
okay.
there's 6 townhouses.
Okay.
The single families are in the front, townhouses are in the rear of the subdivision.
1 through 6, 7 through 11, okay.
okay, very good. So we're now looking at or talking about Lot 1, which is on the left-hand side there.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to the renderings or the elevations.
So this building is 4 sides brick. We're trying to keep everything maintenance-free, of course. It's different color on the bottom. It'll be stone on the bottom, brick on the top. Brick on the 2 stories above. First story will be stone.
Okay, and your helper there, looks like, is he getting the materials for us? You're getting,
Yes.
okay.
So each of these houses are going to be a little different. There's 8 of them that have gable roofs, and 3 of them are going to be flat roofs on the single family, and
Okay,
the townhouses are all flat.
okay. All right, let's focus on
Okay.
Lot 1 here. so
Lot
that we
1.
can- Okay, so you talked about the first floor is stone,
Stone.
and that's,
I can hold them up if you.
yeah, why don't you just hold them up for us so that, or, there we go, okay. So all right. So the first floor is the stone, which is to our left, okay? And then everything above that, the second and third floors, is the brick, which is on our
Correct.
right. We're looking on the right side.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And that's all 4 sides. That's all the way around, okay?
There is some siding you'll see in the gables, are the dormers on the roof. There'll be some siding there.
Okay, that's
Just
a
'cause of the weight, 'cause-
Horizontal siding, horizontal.
Yes.
Plank siding.
Because his dormers are decorative, they're not structural. They won't be able to stand the weight of the stone.
What is the material above the stone, below the brick, that's sort of that separation level, you know, that the first-story deck sits on?
The
Is that like a-
cornice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a cement board, hardy board.
Cement board. Need my architects to listen.
There is a picture of it somewhere, isn't there? No, okay. Just to make a break in it, there will be a substantial, maybe double, maybe it'll be 12, 14 inches. Whatever the floor system is, it'll be in hardy.
So cementitious board?
And that gets painted?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a color of the paint sample?
The cobblestone
Be the
color?
cobblestone tan?
It appears that the cobblestone tan is the color utilized for the dormers, but it looks like, in the pediment, but it looks like that appears to be more of a white color for all the, which I think it looks good to differentiate that, but it doesn't look like it's the cobblestone tan.
It does, it looks like it's two different colors.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it any color we need to do it, but
What color were you proposing it to be? The cobblestone?
yes.
Okay, maybe that's just in shade or something, or, I don't know.
I think it would be better for it to be an off-white, like it's represented as.
I agree. Keeps it consistent. Oh, color. All right, here, let's start down, we'll start down there with holly.
For the color?
And the chimneys,
The chimney's gonna have the black cap on it.
okay,
The stone will be the same on the bottom, and on the top, from the bottom, will be the same kind of stone on the top of the chimney,
so the entire chimney
All-
stone then?
all the way up, yes.
All the way up, on both, for both, I guess, both chimneys, right? There's two,
Correct.
or, okay.
Is there any difference between what you handed out and what we have in our package?
No,
No, okay.
no. So the gutters will be black, the windows will be black, and they're Anderson windows and Anderson doors.
I like the rustication of your stone selection for the sample piece. I'm looking at Horizon and I'm not finding that one in their, I haven't found it in their presentation online. Because too many, as we all know, too many fabricated stones just look like they are that. So if you're using that one that you have there, that's marvelous.
Yes. Now, on each house, and I know we're talking about this one, but each house, we're going to try to mix it up a little bit. These houses are going to be 3 million plus. We don't want everybody, we don't want to be cookie cutters, that's for sure. So we want to give them limited leash to choose. We are going to choose most of their stuff. We're going to guide them how we want them to be built. But we want to give them a little flexibility. So if I'm spending $3.5 to $5 million, I want a boat, I would think.
I had a quick question about the, what appears to be kind of the angled parapet wall behind the pediment. What's the purpose for, is that just for flashing purposes to have that?
So can you take your mouse just right take your mouse just to show where, okay.
And we talked about this a little bit during the last review, but it also blocks the views from the windows behind it as well, and it seems to be that it's well above any kind of railing height or anything. What was the purpose of continuing?
It's basically just an architectural design to give it a little flair, give it a little look. So that's fake stuff, but we wanted it to look substantial, like it was actually
Yeah.
another building, I guess. I mean,
Is that roof area occupiable?
No.
So you can't walk out there and.
well, you might be able to
use-
walk on it, but I don't think you'll be able to live on it. You
Okay.
could walk on it if you, no, there's no door. There's no
door,
access.
so there's
No,
okay.
it's just architectural to give it a look.
Oh, okay.
But the balconies on the third floor and the second floor are usable by
Yes, sir.
people, by the residents, okay?
So the lots are pretty small. The setbacks are pretty small. We're trying to give them a backyard on the balcony. It's a postage stamp lot with a giant house.
Okay.
So we're giving them as much outdoor living space as possible that's off the ground. In the rear of the house, on the site plan, you can see we have a pool in the back, which is underneath the house, so it's part of the house, but it's outdoor living space also. We're trying to give them all the amenities of a 2-acre lot on a 5-foot setback.
Okay. All
And,
right,
and we want this to become a destination subdivision, because it is so small. We're pulling out all the stops as far as architectural go, because we're gonna ask a lot of money for these houses.
okay, so just hold those 4 elevations there.
Okay.
The top right is Thompson Street, obviously that faces Thompson Street. The top left, which is the front elevation, where does that faces?
That faces the interior
Fa-
road.
that
Kinda
faces Kingsley.
Kingsley?
Yes.
Kingsley Court, okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm trying to get myself oriented.
Yep.
Then the bottom right is that faces.
That's the rear of the property that faces the neighbor.
Okay, that faces lot number 2, yes,
Mhm.
okay. And then what's being called the rear elevation, okay, is the opposite of the Kingsley Court elevation, Kingsley Court, okay.
So looking at that rear elevation in there, that's where the pool is.
I'm sorry?
The pool is in there? Like when you look at the rear elevation, it looks like there's
Mhm.
French doors there in there, that's where the pool is.
Yes, sir.
And the
Is that where
pool's
you-
on the second floor,
No, first floor.
first floor. Okay,
Is that where you want your pool? I'm trying to sell you this house.
I think that the character of the elevations looks really good.
Thank you.
It's come a long way. One thing I can't get my arms around from a architectural or the architectural language and the components used is this this extra parapet behind, or above the third story cornice, and how it seems so applied and inconsistent with all of the other, what I feel is good architecture that surrounds it, the columns, the bases, the rustication on the base. And I just wanted to kind of point that out, because to me, it just seems like, I think you might have even mentioned that it's just an applied fake. If this was my house, which it's not, I would probably remove that, let the dormers really kind of stand out and have the roof go around it, and the center dormer be a little more visible instead of kind of hiding behind this strange second Second parapet. It seems like it's kind of foreign to the architectural language that you guys are using, and I feel like it, on such a nice, expensive, beautiful facade that everyone's going to be driving by, it seems like it detracts from it and probably adds a lot of extra cost versus draining it into, that roof into the gutter. Maybe I'm missing, I had thought the last time we spoke that it was an actual outdoor living space up there, that it was, a rooftop terrace, but it's just TPO roof under there? Or, so that's just a personal observation, because there's such formal order to the facade, and to me it kind of detracts a bit. And unless I'm missing any city council conditions that required a balustrade around the top part, or so that's just a personal thought I wanted to share.
I agree with that. One of the things that points that out, or is a good example of that, of how it's superfluous, is the rear elevation. From the side, you're looking at the profile of that, standing up behind that front cornice roof. Yeah. Yeah, right in that, right in there. It does read differently from the Thompson Street elevation, because it shows a repetition of that gable. However, from the side, it shows that it's really not needed. And you're going to save some money that you can put into the pool finishes.
It's not necessary, but it's about the look. I mean, I think when you get into that price range, we're not worried about the nickels and the pennies, really. We're after the look. We're after a signature look for the whole neighborhood.
Yes.
We want to be different, but we want to fit into Alpharetta. So we want it to be, somebody drives by, I want them to know it's my subdivision. A little bit of ego there.
Well, I agree with that. If it's something that looks like it was added unnecessarily,
Sure.
we don't want you to present that either.
But that also gives us the ability, if you buy lot 2 and you want to take that away, we can save you this much money, but your house is still going to be different. So if we show something, we throw everything we can at this house. This is what you can get, and this is as much as we can do with it. If you want something less, we can save you money. Money in this price range really doesn't seem to be an issue. But somebody they spend in that kind of money, they want their house to be unique. There's only so many ways we can make this unique on this tiny lot. So we're trying to fool with the architecture. I'm driving Sam about crazy with this architect stuff. Change this, change that, change this. Let's make it look like this. A lot of stuff's not necessary that we're doing, but it's about the flash.
I agree, but I go back to Eric's point about it appearing to not be, to be overdone in a way that doesn't need to be.
I'm sorry?
It is overdoing something that doesn't need to be there.
I agree. It is overdoing it.
I think there's several maybe solutions here, and Mr. Rowan's kind of sketching something up, but I think the emphasis, the gable kind of emphasizes the cap, so to speak, and how do you make that prominent without losing, you've got the dormers behind that gable, for instance, maybe those get eliminated, so that gable, and the gable becomes the entire thing rather than, anyway, I think we're getting down to kind of very small parts and pieces of this. Overall, I like the architecture, I like the feel and everything, so I think we're just kind of maybe tweaking this amongst architects up here, but.
And in reality, when you're standing in the front of that house, you look 30, 40 feet in the air, you're not going to see it anyway. You'll see it from a distance, for sure.
One very simple solution that might be worth considering, and maybe you could work this out with staff, is you know, the pediment's such a strong central feature on the facade. What if you raised the pediment to the level of that angled parapet behind it and had a bigger cornice underneath it, like something like that?
Yeah.
We can
So-
do that.
You get-
And then it raises the whole pediment. Then it makes that goofy thing behind it go away. It gives, I'm sorry for the technical term there,
That's
but,
insulting.
and it allows the balustrade
Yeah,
secondary to die into something.
okay.
I think something like that would kind of tie everything together, and it would make it a little more architecturally appealing. And it would probably be a better construction detail as well.
Right.
Roland, are you able to show that
Yes.
to the rest of the board, and then I'll put it on here so we can get it on the video?
See, basically what we're trying to do is break up the roof because it's such a big roof. Those two little dormers are small.
Right.
We're trying to come up with something that doesn't look out of the ordinary. But I understand what he's saying too. Yeah, we could do that.
Maintain all the detailing, just raise it up and make that.
Eric, can you speak into the?
We're just trying to break up that front because the front is so big and the dormers are so small.
So basically, you take the exact pediment that you've designed, raise it, the peak of it to the top of where your angled wall is behind it. And it might just, it might all go together better. It'll be an easier detail to build too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because
Yeah, it's not on our screens, though. Can you put that on here?
I was seeing myself this thing.
That's really nice.
Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
It's a haunted house.
Will you
Yep.
kind of explain it?
Oh,
No, that makes sense. So you're gonna make the center pediment, the center gable
Yeah.
more prominent.
so basically, the only thing that we're doing is the pediment feature, which right now has an angled wall behind it that's set back. We're just raising the pediment up. We're eliminating that wall behind it, and we're giving something for the parapets with the little balustrade to die into. So all we're doing is we're raising the pediment and eliminating the
And keep it in the same plane,
same plane,
all in the same plane.
all in the
instead of
same
having
plane,
to step-
proud of the building.
Right.
Where were you a week ago?
I think that was the only thing that was really
Okay.
kind of weighing on me. And it could be detailed
Well, look,
like a
come on,
cornice,
people area.
you know.
We just wanna definitely break up the roof.
Yeah,
It's
it-
too large.
It looks weird blocking the
This,
windows.
the pediment is in
The whole
front.
pediment just looks weird blocking the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Why don't you just keep the whole line across there flat, and then if you put a little raised section, put it above that window behind it.
Or you get rid of the windows behind it. You get rid of that double dormer back there, whatever.
Probably a great view from up there. if you don't
Yeah.
block it.
You're not,
I think it's
not
attic. It's
occupied.
attic
Oh, it's attic space?
yeah.
No, you're not, you don't get up there.
I assume they were trying to make it look like you could walk out there, though, because that kind of looks like a railing, just raised. Like you could walk out there, but you can't.
Okay. Either way. All right. I think we're very close, I mean. Okay. All right, let's do this. That's lot one, which is 296 Thompson. All right, let's move over across the Kingsley Court and let's go to 304 Thompson Street, please. Give us time to think about 296.
Yeah.
Just say this computer's a little slow.
It's still cold.
There we go.
Okay, so this is 304, right? 304 Thompson. Okay. This is good. Now, do you have the other drawing that has all 4 elevations on it? Can you, there we go. All right, kind of walk us through, let's take the Thompson Street elevation. Walk us through the materials from the ground floor up, please.
So the same kind of thing in the bottom, it's going to be all stone. Of course, we don't want it to be exactly like Lot 1. We want the same kind of stone, but a different color.
All right. So that's the stone and then the brick that's on the upper 2 floors then. All right. Okay.
And right at the top, it'll be thick, I mean, real thick, so it'll look like it's a band of maybe, right here I'm talking about, real heavy looking. So it's gonna hold up these posts, which those are cement posts. What's that material called, Jay? The fiberglass post. They have structural strength, but we want it to look like it's holding the whole building up.
Okay. And these elevations that we're looking at appear to be new ones and weren't the same that were in our packet earlier this week. Because it looks like there was a penthouse,
They're from yesterday?
just
Are
for
they
the
not the ones
board's
from
information. It doesn't have that.
That's not the whole one?
Yeah. The packet had a, the little penthouse
Yes, pop up
should go
or
back to
whatever.
my
jewel
email
box
from
or
yesterday.
Good. Okay. All right.
So similar to the other building, it's stone at the base, stone chimney,
Correct.
brick above that.
Mhm.
On the stone, there's soldier courses shown over the windows, et cetera. Is that done in stone or brick?
Over the windows will all be brick. The soldier courses
So
will
the
be
soldier
brick.
courses will be brick in this, okay.
Yes, brick.
Makes sense, but just check.
And you can see on these 3D elevations that the patio comes out a little bit. And that was, somebody requested that last time we were here. So we brought those patios out.
And again, on the second and the third floors, those patios are occupiable or
Correct.
that you can open doors and walk out on them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's your front yard or your backyard.
That's it. No mowing required.
Now, on the top of this, there may be a roof access, a hatch, because we're going to have to get to it somehow if there's a problem.
This is a TPO roof?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you say a roof, I mean, it's a roof hatch, literally,
Mhm.
like a ship's ladder or something that goes, okay.
Are there any mechanical units on this roof?
I'm sorry?
Would there be any mechanical units on the roof or anything, any kind of tall vents?
We may be able to put since we're limited on space in the yard area, we're trying to figure out where our mechanicals are going to go, our condensers.
Yeah, that's.
These are easy. It's the gable ones that are tough.
Yeah.
Because
We want to
we-
make sure that there wouldn't be any mechanical equipment visible. on
You
the
won't be able
roof.
to see them. You're standing up against that building, it'll be 40 feet in the air, 38 feet. You're not going to be able to see it. But that was our plan, is to put the condensers on the roof.
For both properties? For-
Not, just the flat roofs.
Just,
Mhm.
Okay, let's go back to the four-sided elevation, just so we can, again, walk around. All right, Thompson Street's the top right. And then to the left there, the front elevation, top left, is that facing Kingsley
Yes.
Court? Okay. And then obviously the right side elevation down on the bottom right is what faces the home behind it, what, number 8 or whatever lot number
Correct.
that is. Okay, and then the rear elevation is what faces
The neighbor.
the neighbor, all right?
What's the paint color on this one?
The paint color is these handles right here. Again, it's going slow as well.
Again, the windows will all be black. That'll be consistent throughout the neighborhood, the Anderson windows. The trim. So we got white. And the black is for what? The gutters? Or the top piece, right? All the gutters throughout the subdivision will be black. The shingles will be black architectural throughout this, or no, weatherwood throughout the subdivision. So there will be some things that are going to be the same. I don't think people pay much attention to shingles, but we do. We don't want to mix and match them for sure. So if we pick one, it'll be consistent throughout the neighborhood.
I want my shingles to last. Well, there are some down there. We have some.
You have the shingle sample down there?
This
Oh,
doesn't
there
have
it is,
shingles.
okay.
Where did I put them?
Do these units, these two homes have elevators?
They all have elevators. Every house will have an elevator, including the townhouses.
Okay, and there's no overrun on these elevators? They're
No.
just I'll call them the
They
residential
stop at the
type.
third floor, and the roof of the elevator is at the ceiling of the third floor. Mhm.
Okay. All right,
So paint color on this one's pretty much white.
and an odd question, where do I park where I own a vehicle, where do I park?
The site plan will show you. So there is a driveway on every house.
Okay,
Um,
just park in the driveway.
That's it. Well, you got a garage.
Garage, I guess that's true.
The garage, and then
Okay,
there is visitor parking at the amenity area, but we have roughly 3 acres, so there's not a lot of visitors going to be welcome, I guess. For that kind of money, we can shuttle them in.
okay.
What was it, on the material palette that we were just looking at for this one, could you go back to the previous sheet? What's the upper left, brick veneer, general shale? Is that used on this building somewhere?
Yeah, that's a brick color for the plot number 7.
Yeah, it's not that one then.
So, yeah, where is it?
Yes, we did bring that one in so that we don't have.
I don't have it with me. Brick color? No, I didn't bring it. I left it. I couldn't carry them all. I know.
Can you show us?
So we are going to vary each house, not a lot, but
Oh.
just mix and match.
So this does not apply to lot 7 or 1?
This one does.
This one
Yeah, the
applies
one I
to
have
lot
does not.
1.
I'm asking about the brick veneer on the left, the general shale winter haven. It's shown in the top left there.
That's what
that
we're going to
was-
use, but I didn't bring it with me. I'm sorry. I didn't bring it.
For each one of these, you showed a brick and a stone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought those were the only masonry materials on the building.
It is.
So this general shale winter haven is not used on either of these two buildings.
It is on this one, yes.
Where? Can you show us where?
And I didn't bring it.
This Winter Haven, they showed us last time they met in December.
Yes.
But,
All this here be the winter haven,
oh,
all 4 sides.
wait,
That looks white on the sample and the,
But you just showed us a
Wait.
different brick.
Yes,
right?
we mistakenly did.
So you showed us the wrong brick, okay, so the,
Yes.
so the Winter Haven stone is very similar color to the the off-white paint that you're using for the trim.
And it's a very light
Butchered that French.
stone as well. This building seems like it's going to be very white.
Window sample?
No, that different.
No, I didn't bring it.
You know, I mean, your stone on this is very white. The
It
paint
is
is
very
white.
white.
And then if the brick is white, it's basically just going to be a very white building.
Well, we're trying to mix and match. These stone colors, we talked about taking both these colors and mixing it on the bottom. Not have pieces to make one, but swapping them back and forth, creating some sort of pattern so they draw to the next zone. This is all white. It's all white. So if you put a little brown in with it, it kind of makes it a little earthier.
Are you talking about on the same home, mixing those two? Oh,
That might be a bit risky, especially, you know, the way they lay the stone and making sure that their batch and their mix is, it's really hard to do to get a consistent
unless you're
pattern.
standing right there.
It is,
Looking
yeah.
at it as well, that's a,
You're pulling off 2 pallets.
We're just looking for options. I mean, I got a couple boxes of each at the office to try to make a pattern, but I think it's risky too, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I just,
I think you're asking for trouble.
okay. So we stick to one color on each house.
I would, yes.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Because
and
that's
you-
the way that's kind of matched, and that's
Okay.
the way it's manufactured.
And these stones, they do have a decent level of variation within.
They do.
Within it. It's not going to be all stark.
Right.
But if you start matching different colors, there might be one that's got more of a gray hue versus a beige hue.
Like, our supplier is North Georgia Brick, so they give us a sample. They give me a box of one. It doesn't even look like the sample. I mean, it does, but it's, like you're saying, it's, when I lay them all out on my conference room table, it's like, it doesn't look like the 6 brick on that board, but it's close. I guess
think
if we
if-
keep the house the same.
If we're going with the Winter Haven brick, there's got to be a darker base, darker stone base. And which one?
I agree with that. The Century Canyon.
Can you split the stone bases apart again for us? And you may need to set those up so that the entire board, okay.
I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell without seeing these Winter Haven next to it.
It was pretty white, if I remember, in the December meeting. And I think, and that's going to be not just in front of us and 10 feet away, it's going to be 30, 40, 50, 100 feet away, so.
I like the Century Ridge better,
Which one is that?
the darker,
The darker?
the
with
one on our left.
Yes, I agree with you, Holly.
Yeah, no, that's the one, though, that they showed us for Lot 1. So do we want to have the same stone on Lot 1 and 7?
No, I think you
They
want
swap
to,
them?
yeah.
I mean, we could do them all the same, but I mean, it doesn't
No,
make them an
I don't-
individual
No,
house.
I don't think you should.
No.
And the challenge was because the Whitehaven is so white, if you go with the Hermitage, I think it was called, the lighter stone, everything's just going to be very white on that building, right? There's no contrast in color.
Yeah.
But then if you bring the darker stone over there, now you got the same one as the other building, right?
Well, that,
So
on
then can
their
you swap
plan,
them?
it says that they're using the Hermitage on this building, which is his right.
Yeah, it's the lighter stone.
Right.
I'm nervous
Now
about,
that's white, and then the brick is white, and the
No,
trim is
no,
white.
no, on this building.
Wait, when you say this building, which one?
Oh,
is it?
sorry, the one that we looked at originally, the very
So Lot
first
1.
building.
So,
Lot 1, that's what,
Oh, because that's not what they showed us when he held them up.
can you move the slide back to the elevations for a second so we can, for Lot 304 elevations? Or Lot 7? Yeah.
all right, This is lot 7.
This is the one that would, based on the specification, be mostly all white. White stone at the base, white off-white, the Winter Haven masonry, and then the off-white paint, which isn't represented at all on this, this drawing.
So I assume that's not what you want to do, right? Did you think about that? I mean, you don't want it all white, right? So,
No.
That's why we're gonna mix it up.
No,
yeah. So we just have to get very specific, right, on what we're approving, and we're trying to.
okay, yeah, I see.
But y'all, earlier, I mean, according to DR2, they're using Hermitage on the building across Kingsley. But y'all were saying that they are using, I mean, if you did the Canyon Ridge, they would not be the same stone.
Right, it's just, when he held them up, he held up the other ones originally. So that's not
It's the white ones we need to do here.
I mean, of course, we're trying to choose a stone and a brick
Yeah,
of
so,
earth tones, but not, to be different, but not to have 11 different colors.
so Ms. Palmer's right, you are showing right here Hermitage, which is the lighter color one, right, on lot 1.
And actually, that lighter one, I thought said Sedona, not
No.
Hermitage on it, on their actual sample. One of them says Sedona.
Yeah, the Sedona's, isn't the
Yeah,
Sedona
that's
the lighter
the-
one? The whiter?
That's the-
Yeah, but
That's the
on
stone
here, they're
system.
calling it Hermitage.
Oh, yeah, your sample has a different name than the.
No, we brought the wrong one.
I'm fairly confused.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
So this one is the wrong sample, so
We bought the wrong, we have 45 or 50 in our office. So, this is.
we grabbed it small, we brought the wrong one.
All right.
We might need to have you come back and show us the actual samples, because.
Is there a way that we could approve, and I'm not saying we can't get beyond this, but is there a way we could approve the architecture, exterior facades, and have them return with really detailed, accurate color concepts? Because, I mean, there's such subtleties between these different finishes that it could really look potentially bad, and I don't feel comfortable approving that.
Well, they haven't submitted for LDP yet. So they've got,
Time.
what, probably 4 weeks or so? When do you think you would prospectively put construction documents for the houses in?
The week of the LDP.
What's that?
Well, the week of the LDP, we'll have the construction documents done.
Yeah.
LDC is not dependent on building elevation.
Or materials.
No, that's what I was,
Yeah.
but since they haven't started the LDP yet, they got to get the LDP before they could get a building permit. So there's going to be, there's some time. I think if we're good with the, yes, I think if we're good with the architecture, then I think maybe we focus on
Color
you
palette.
guys getting the color palettes right, bring those samples in, and then I think we could nail it. I think the bigger thing,
These houses have such a strong presence. I
Yeah.
walk by them, or I will be walking by them all the time. And the nature of some of the samples, if it doesn't get right, it could look,
yeah, I
It'd
think,
really
I
be
think
an
you guys
eyesore.
need to make sure that your
Specific.
sheet is right to what you want to do and bring those.
Okay.
like the elevations colored per the samples, and then have,
And annotate the elevations.
it would be great to be able to look at the stone, the masonry, and a large paint swatch all together.
Just make a mock-up board next time to bring in, it has the brick.
That would be so helpful.
Yep.
You look at it all at once.
And Brett, you said annotate the elevation, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I reiterate, annotate the elevations, please.
Well, they have kind of, they said brick veneer, but they didn't really
Kind of,
say.
yes.
Yeah.
Put
They got-
the, put the specific one that you're going to use on there, make sure it matches your sample page, and that you bring that sample. And I think you're there. I think the
Okay.
elevations, I think they're comfortable enough with the elevations.
Yeah.
At least these two houses. We got to go to the townhouses yet, but But I think you've moved stuff around and things that they're good with that. Now we just got to get that.
Okay.
You might consider.
We could do that.
On Lot 1.
Yes.
It's just a consideration on the trim and the columns. You might consider using that off-white color and add that to the palette in addition to the beige color that you have on the dormers. I think that it would kind of create some good contrast as well.
Okay.
But the elevations are really looking a lot better. They
Yeah.
look good.
Thank you. We try to, when we build houses, we kind of try to go with a color palette of 3 colors. Any more than that, it gets too busy.
Yep,
So
that's
it
fine.
gets too confusing for people.
Understood.
'Cause
That's
then they wanna-
fine. It was just a
They want to
thought.
paint their door a different color, then they want to paint their windows a different color. So
I
we keep
get
it
it.
to 3 colors.
I get it. No, that's fine.
Limit the choices.
That's fine.
Okay, so I think we're close on lots 1 and 7, just need the final
Okay.
material descriptions and actual materials, so we can do that.
And you're going to email me that drawing you did?
Yes.
That sketch?
I will.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at the other lots, 2 through, well,
Can I add one more thing to Mr. McCorkle's comment about the center dormer? You'd made a comment that it's kind of hidden behind that pediment.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it matters.
Okay. Because what I was going to say is another thought to address that comment is if you, instead of having the dormer, having it stop, and then this raised pediment, if that's livable space, you could just extend that livable space all the way up to the pediment, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, instead of having that gap
Fourth
there.
floor, there's no 4th floor, though.
There's not, it's just.
No, that's our
okay.
mechanical. The gable is furnace, hot water tanks, because there are going to be 2 furnaces, 2 hot
Gotcha.
water tank, 3
Okay.
hot water tanks.
So, yeah, I mean, if it's not habitable, then
Why would you even have it then? Yeah,
Basically, it was a look.
oh,
We're after a look.
yep,
okay.
okay.
All right, and one more item for 1 and 7. I think the chimney cap can be a little bit more enhanced or better than just a kind of a metal cap. Make it look a little
Okay.
nicer. Just think about
With-
that. Put that-
Like a
think that-
stone
putting a
trout.
seed- I'm putting a seed in that.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, if you're talking, I mean, that may not be exactly what you're going to put up there, but to staff, it looked like a Home Depot pick out. I picked it out of their thing, and if you're building a $3 or $4 million house, it's
Right.
it's not that. So
Okay.
maybe get a cut sheet of the exact one you're going to use. Maybe that'll
Okay.
change the thing. But it
Okay.
didn't appear that part did a good job at finishing off the chimney to staff anyway.
Okay. I mean, our thought process, we didn't want the chimney to be the focal point of the house, but I understand what
Well,
you're saying.
I mean, it sort of is. It's a
Mhm.
what,
Okay.
50-foot tall, 40-foot tall,
Right,
pretty,
sure.
so may not be the focus, but it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not, they're not all black. Maybe they
I was
go,
gonna say.
maybe they just go masonry, same color masonry all the
Maybe,
way
yeah.
up.
Or
Yeah, we could do
stone,
that
make it a
too.
stone.
Or stone, whatever,
That's what I was
whatever it
thinking,
is.
Not a
Stone
bad
cap,
idea.
and it gets
Yeah,
rid
not
of
a
the
bad
black,
idea.
which makes it,
And then it
do
doesn't
that.
stand out for sure.
Yeah, we
Because
could
now
do
it's
that.
all one thing.
We could
Okay.
definitely do that. Mhm.
all right. Now let's talk about 2 through 16, or whatever the number is, 2 through 11, 12.
The other houses have not been designed yet because of the lot configuration.
Okay.
So
Just the
we're
townhouses.
we're hoping as we build them, we design the houses. I don't know if we have to come back through you each time, but if that's the case, we'll do that. Because the lots are so tight, we just can't say all these houses are going on these lots until we
Oh,
get the
okay.
configuration.
Because, well, I'm just thinking, I think 9 of the homes have to be brick because of the council conditions.
They will all be brick.
They're all going to be brick.
Mhm.
Okay, so that takes care of that
Yes,
issue.
yes.
But you're saying there may not be that many houses then?
No, there'll be the same amount of houses, but the shape, size, elevation, like those 2 elevations, we've worked hard to get 1 and 7.
Right.
the fit on that lot. It's tight, it's very tight.
Oh,
To get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's going to take a considerable amount of time. So what we were hoping for is to build these first 2 homes as a model, and if we can, build the townhouses, because they're not going to change. And then we could design the houses with the client. That'll fit in that little box that we give them. They'll have to have an elevator. I mean, we'll set the criteria what they're going to have. But as far as, are we going to tell them what they can buy? Probably, that's
You
not
know,
the
you're
plan.
setting yourself up for a huge headache with
I know,
people living in the
I know.
townhomes
I know.
and construction all out the street and
But we didn't want them to
materials
look
and-
like track homes, though. We don't want them to be track homes.
Are you on the remainder of the detached homes, are you contemplating any painted brick?
No,
Okay, because I think that was part of the council condition, right? is-
that's kind of farm house
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
We didn't-
Okay,
no.
good,
That doesn't fit here, I don't think.
right, okay, great.
So I'll ask Brett, and so what was shown to city council for their approvals? Did they see homes 2 through 11?
Only in concept.
Okay.
I can see if I can
Just
pull that up.
Was,
You
Tracy.
have it?
It's on
Tracy's.
Yeah,
Concept
Tracy's view from down the street.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
And we're basing it off that too, Brett.
I'm sorry?
We're basing it off that.
Yeah. There's one more view.
We're still looking at townhomes, right?
Yeah, we need to look at those.
At least the elevation.
That one, those. This is the whole package that was shown to council.
Okay.
So they all have a lot of similarities, and the scale of them on the lots, the proportions, I think, are where the big to-do is. They either have to have flats or gables, which I don't really know if there's another style besides a flat and a gable. I don't know, but
There's 3 flats.
But, so you gotta have a mixture there, and I think what council was looking at was that we weren't gonna see 2 really big houses at the beginning and then 9 smaller ones behind it. And I don't think that's their intent at all, and if you should leave details like that to staff, that's one of the things that we will definitely focus on is the scale of the house on the lot.
See, every house we're going to build is between 4,000 and 6,000 square feet. Nothing's going to be smaller. For that kind of money, we're not going to build a 2,500 square foot home because you're never going to get the money. So 4,000 is probably too small.
On this
If you let us go
drawing.
4 stories, we can get them bigger. We won't even go there. Sorry.
The chimneys are much better looking on this drawing than the
Tracy,
black.
in this
shroud.
drawing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Good observation.
We can do that. That's easy enough to do.
Okay, well then let's look, are you prepared to show us the townhomes?
Yes.
All right, well, let's jump back to the townhomes.
Before we move, in this drawing that we were just looking at, there's several houses that are sided. I don't think we want to do any of those in the 11.
Well, let's see.
I don't think you have to do siding.
Okay,
I
okay.
think there was a minimum number of brick or stone,
Right.
but it didn't say there was a maximum number of brick and
Okay,
stone. So
all right.
I think you could do them all brick and
Yes.
stone,
Okay.
all 4 sides, and be fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the way you guys interpret that?
At least 50% of the homes, which would be 9 homes, will be 50% of either unpainted brick or stone on all 4 sides.
Yeah. So it doesn't say that it
At
has to
least.
be siding for the rest. It just says that you have to do at least this amount of masonry. So if you're going to plan on doing them
We're
all
doing
masonry,
more, yes.
Yeah.
you meet that condition.
Okay.
I guess I'm concerned that it says 50% of the homes, which would be 9 homes.
Yeah, there's 11, yeah.
And there's only 11 homes.
I think originally Tracy might have had more.
maybe they were counting the back townhome?
Could have been. Yeah, I'd have to go back and
Okay,
read the full minutes and to see, but
okay, let's
if they're
jump.
gonna do all brick, then we don't, that
That's-
condition is
that's
null
taken-
anyway.
Taken care of. All right, now let's jump back to the 6 townhomes on the,
Okay.
I'll call it the rear of the site, please. And I think by nature, we're gonna defer approval, or defer approvals on lot 1 and 7, just by what we've talked about today, to allow you time to
Okay?
pull everything together for us and then come back. All right, let's look at the townhomes, please. Okay, walk
Yep.
us through, we've gone up Kingsley Court or whatever.
So what we've done on the homes, they're split, 3 and 3. We have a pathway that goes to the Alpha Loop. In between those 3 units on the left, 3 units on the right. The 3 units on each side, the 2 end units will be brick, and the center will be sided.
Okay.
So that's
Tell you
only
what,
front and back.
go back just to the site plan quickly, if you will. Sorry to make you jump around. Just to get us oriented to make sure there we go, okay. All right, there are the 6 townhomes, so 1 through 6, from left to right, the gap, the center alley or the center access in the middle.
So
Okay.
T2 and T5 will be our sided ones, because they're the least,
TH2 and 5.
they're the least amount of wall covering, and they'll be sided. The T1, T3, T4, and T6 will be brick.
Okay, all right.
Now, the end units will be 3-side brick.
TH3.
And the next question is, we need to pick a color, right?
How did you guess?
Okay.
Now, you said brick, but look, there's some stone too, right? Brick and.
Yes, the
masonry.
same thing, be
Masonry.
consistent throughout the subdivision, the first floor. In the townhouses, it'll be the first 2 floors in the back will be stone.
Okay.
And the 2 upper levels will be brick. And the front elevation on the townhouse, it'll be 1 level stone and 2 levels brick. Soldier over the windows, doors. I don't know, did we put a keystone in?
Okay, so in this rendering that we're looking at now, the top right rendering, which says front, that would be, I guess that's either units TH1 through TH3 or.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
TH4 through 6, whatever it may be.
Yes, either or, yeah.
All right. And then again, you talked about, so the unit on the right, which would be, I'll call it TH6. How about that? The very far right one. That's stone at the base,
Correct,
first floor, and then brick above.
correct.
Okay. And again,
Now,
you
in the
haven't
rear
picked
of that one, it'll be 2 stories stone.
on the rear, yeah, because the site,
Along the Alpha Loop.
which is kind of what you've shown in the bottom left there, how that.
Yes,
Okay. And again, you just haven't picked out the stone or the brick combo for these.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring it.
All right. And on the rear, for instance, each of those balconies are habitable?
Yes,
People can walk out on all,
yes.
yes, you
they
got
will
the
be able
one
to.
on grade and then the other 3, okay?
And we may or may not want to, I mean, I don't know at this point. The top floor, if we cover the last one balcony, instead of having it open. There's 4 covered areas now. There's 0 play area on these houses, because the Alpha Loop is right there. We haven't really talked about it, I'm just throwing this out there, whether we cover the last story with a roof. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know how that affects.
I
all
feel
of
like
that.
if you do, it's really going to get way too vertical. Like the
It's
whole.
gonna look like an apartment, that's why we left it off now, but I mean,
You know, I don't know how it impacts your customers, but it would be interesting to have the center, or maybe the outer ones, if it wasn't an impact on the sellability of the units, to have a roof over the third floor instead of having a balcony on the bedroom level. But it seems like that's an amenity that you would want to be able to sell, to have the balcony off the bedroom. But if you had like the outer two units have like a metal roof, like a standing seam roof on either side,
Right.
it would break everything up and add a lot more character to the grouping. But once again, I don't know what your demographic is and if having 4 balconies on a townhouse is important or not.
I mean, we're
Get
still
it.
working on that part about, to me, I don't think it is, because I think they're going to sell to my age group. For sure, I'm not walking up them. But that's why the elevators are everywhere.
Yeah. It's something
I
to
kind of like
consider.
it the way it is, open, so you can sun.
That's true.
It's on no porch, put a roof there, so there's no doors on the third floor.
That's the master suite, though. Yeah,
So-
we got to have a door on that master suite.
Going back to the overall kind of construction of the site, the phasing, you're going to do homes, lots 1 and 7 first.
Yes,
What comes next?
the townhouses. So we'll use those lot 1 and 7 as our model,
Right.
build our townhouses, sell those. 1 and 7 stays being the model, so we can control the traffic. I mean, we have not even 3 acres of property, so we can't have people driving. We're going to do the brick, what is it called? The paver stone on the roadway.
Oh, nice.
So we want to control traffic, we want to control mud, and we want to control walkability and safety and fire. And so that's our plan anyway, is we don't want to just, you come in, you want lot 5. We're not going to build lot 5 if we're not ready for it. We're going to control how the sales are going because of traffic.
Right, makes sense. Okay.
I don't know if these people will have kids. Most likely they won't, but they may. We just don't want anything to happen to anybody.
Okay.
So do you think when you come back with lots 1 and 7, you would also have material selections for these?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
we will.
we'll have a board per townhouse this time, and per
Okay.
house.
Okay, so we'll do all that at the same
Yeah.
time.
Okay. Okay.
We'll change the chimney caps on the townhouses too.
Okay. You're a quick.
I like those ones in Tracy's. Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions, comments for this applicant at this time? Let me ask are there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? No public comment.
I guess the only thing on the townhomes, I mean, I'm personally comfortable with the elevations, with the architecture of the buildings as everyone else, so
I think we're almost to the same point.
just material selections,
You know,
really.
like lots 1 and 7, we're just get the materials and the.
If you did decide on the top floor to add a roof, like you had mentioned, if you did do that on like the center unit only,
Yeah.
that would also kind of break things up a bit more and change it up. So that's something to consider too. If you did it on just one of the 3 units, left the other 2.
Right. I mean, it's just, everything is so tight and we're so
Yeah.
limited on space, and the townhouses are over 4,000 square feet. It's a lot of square footage for, I mean, my age group, I can't see me living in something that big, but Alpharetta, I see it all over the place, of course, so. They have no play area,
Yep.
no entertainment area, I should call it. So we're trying to give them as much as we can with the balconies.
Yep.
But the top floor is the master bedroom. The whole top floor, I think it is the master suite. So,
I'd personally want a balcony if it was.
there you go, see?
A covered balcony or a balcony?
Hot tub? No? There's no pools in the townhouses either, we don't have enough
Oh,
room.
good point, good point.
Well-
Hey, looking ahead, a question on the remainder of the detached homes. Are you thinking that at some point here when you're ready, they're all going to be designed at once? Or is it going to be kind of or is it going to be one at a time?
I think we'll do a couple at a time. We're going to start our market studies fairly quickly. So we'll do focus groups to see what the people want. We don't want to build a $3.5 million spec and nobody like it.
Right.
We want to make sure they're going to buy it. So we'll hold focus groups to find out. But when you do that, I've done it many, many times. You get 500 people in the room, you get 1,000 opinions.
For sure.
But some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them we keep, some of them we don't.
Yeah.
You can't give them everything, but everybody needs a place to sleep, everybody needs a place to go potty,
Right.
and everybody needs a place to park their car. So we know the essentials.
Okay.
The people that are going to buy there, we're definitely going to want to hold some sort of focus group to find out what they're going to want before we blast ahead and design 11 homes.
Yeah.
The architect's going to be expensive to design 11 homes and not anybody want to buy them.
Yeah.
So-
I was just trying to think of how we're going to handle the approval on the remainder of those. I guess we'll talk about that.
We got some time.
Yeah, we got some time.
I think there's a lot of good direction, and I think, these.
We can
a
come back
long
for
way.
every one or just bother Brett every day. Either or.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We're in the business of building and selling them. We don't want them to sit.
Right. Sure.
We've had some interest in the property already from the little bit we've done, which is minimum. So it's a pretty desirable area for sure. And if you guys want to put it in, you can put your name in the hat and we'll,
Just get on the list.
yeah. Get on the list. We're starting our list now.
Okay, sounds like we need a motion to defer this application, so can somebody, all right?
Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240048, lots 1 and 7 on Thompson Street, Kingsley development, I'd like to make a motion to defer the approval of the exterior elevations and material selections for both buildings, as well as the 6 townhomes at the rear of the property. End of motion.
A second?
Okay, motion by Mr. Rowan, a second by Mr. Swing to defer. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great work.
All right.
Great work.
Our next meeting will be March 21st, 2025. And with that, if there be no further business and no objections from fellow board members, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.